Well, for me, Lance Armstrong represents everything that is wrong with professional cycling. Someone who goes out and not only dopes, but seeks to promote doping and seeks to bring others into the doping net. And if you talk to any of his former teammates, they will tell you the pressures on that team that there were to dope. This is the cancer. This is how he spreads what I regard doping in sport as a cancer. And this is the metaphor I use to describe him as the cancer in the sport.
Now, this is the greatest bicyclist ever, and based on his record, and to find that there's a possibility that it was all due to, potentially due to enhancement through doping is disappointing.
Part of me was very hopeful that Lance was an enigma, a miraculous exception to the rule, which is, of course, that the only way to win in competitive cycling nowadays is to cheat.
Do I believe Lance Armstrong doped? I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but I do know that cycling and most professional sports, I would say, have a huge problem with performance-enhancing drugs.
EPO and blood transfusions, all those things are very easily used without detection, and we did so regularly.
Armstrong, NKP, Lifetime you personally?
Every single person that I participated in those tours where Lance won, we all did it.
He said he has nothing. He's got no proof. It's his word versus ours. We like our word. We like where we stand. We like our credibility.
I would put my hand in the fire right now and say Floyd Landis is, without question, telling the truth. And you ask me, well, how do you know that? Well, I spent 7 hours with him, okay, and that's a long time. And I asked him a lot of questions, and the detail that he gave me about what happened on that team and about what happened to him in professional cycling, you cannot make that up. You've got to be an absolute psychopath to make up the level of detail that he was able to give me about what went on in that team.
The point in the government's case is they found other people that corroborate his case. So it's not just Floyd Landis saying Lance Armstrong and the rest of his colleagues doped, and they made us dope, they encouraged us to dope, they paid for it, and all those things he had said before. But other riders have come forward and said that's true.
I'm an athlete that has always been drug-free. I am right now, and I will always be.
Marion Jones had looked at me in the eye several times, and many other people, millions of people, and said, I have never doped, I'm going to sue anybody who says I doped, and hired big-powered lawyers, including the lawyers that now work for Lance Armstrong for his public relations. And then at the last minute on a courthouse steps, ended up crying.
And so it is with a great amount of shame that I stand before you and tell you that I have betrayed your trust.
These people don't mess around. You tell lies to the UCI and that's fine. You tell lies to Jeff Novitzky, you go to jail. And this is the problem for Armstrong and his people. Because some of the people left with him now who have been loyal to him all along, they will be loyal to him. They won't go to jail for him. And for the first time, I do think we're going to see a true picture of what's been happening for the last 10 years.
As a sports writer, you want to believe in people, just like a regular fan. You want to believe that there's that one guy out there, even though the rest of the peloton is doping, even though most of the other guys who had ever finished near the top of the Tour de France, including the guys who finished second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth to Lance, some of the tours, have all been caught or admitted it. I mean, part of you really wants to think that maybe Lance Armstrong didn't.
It's not enough that Lance Armstrong is exposed as a cheat. We need to know about who facilitated this. We need to know about the UCI's role in this. And unless that happens, the sport cannot move forward. It's going to happen again. It'll just be somebody else next time.
Excuse me. What's your name again? My name is Paul Kimmage. I work for Sunday Times. I asked for an interview, but I didn't get one.
You said, folks, the cancer has been in remission for 4 years, but our cancer has now returned, meaning me. I am here to fight this disease. I am here so that I don't have to deal with it, you don't have to deal with it, none of us have to deal with it, my children don't have to deal with it.
The phrase used often is, Lance Armstrong beat cancer. Look, the reality is Lance Armstrong got lucky. Okay? That's what it is. Cancer is, you survive cancer, you're bloody lucky. You don't survive cancer because you're better than anybody else or because you do things differently to anybody else. You survive cancer because you are lucky. Lance Armstrong got lucky. And if he wants to sell luck to people, then that's fine. And they want to believe in it, that's fine.
Is he a fraud?
Absolutely a total fraud. With regard to cycling, with regard to his 7 Tour victories, he is an absolute fraud.